Matrix movies are, yes, science fiction stories, but what they really are allegories. An allegory is a story, poem, or picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden or a coded meaning. What we're going to be doing here is decrypting that message. We're going to decode that message and show you what it's really about. The allegory of the Matrix is actually about our world being under complete control. It's about the control system that is already in place in our world that we're already living in. It shows us how we can get out of that prison society that has been built up all around us. Each movie answers a different question. The first movie answers the question, what is the Matrix? The second movie answers the question, why are we in the Matrix? And most unpopular of all is the third film, because the third film answered the question, how do we get out of the Matrix? And that's the information that people are actually the most resistant to hearing, because that involves deep internal change in a person's thoughts, emotions, and actions. And that's the thing that they're the most resistant to. His apartment is room 101. Now, this is a direct reference to 1984, the book by George Orwell. And room 101 in that film represents the place where your deepest fears are contained. The money stash that he uses is a book. It's a hollowed out book. But this book is actually what inspired the film. Okay? It's a real book. It's by Jean Baudrillard. Okay? And it's called Simulacra and Simulation. And it is a book about how we are lost in the map and we are not even seeing the territory for what it is. And this suggests that what the agents of the state really want is to silence us. They don't want us speaking out. They want us afraid and they want us quiet. So let's take a look at these three characters and what they really represent allegorically. They are different aspects of our consciousness, of the expression of our consciousness. And Neo represent, well, I'll start with Morpheus. Our consciousness, the expression of our consciousness is composed of three modalities or dynamics: our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions. These are the three ways we express our consciousness. Morpheus represents the mind. He is the thoughts aspect of consciousness. So he is the mind. He is our intelligence. When we use the mind, we're gaining knowledge. We're making a connection with truth. That's what Morpheus represents. That which is going to show us the truth. Okay? Trinity is the spirit. She is the sacred feminine, the heart, our compassion, love energy. That's what she represents. And again, she acts as the bridge between the two. The heart is the bridge between our mind and our will. The heart is the center. Our actions is represented by Neo. He is the will. He represents courage. He represents the exercise of conscience, doing that which we know to be right. And he represents our desire for freedom, for true freedom. Morpheus says, you're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there is something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it is there. Like a splinter in your mind driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. Do you know what I'm talking about? And Neo replies, the Matrix. Morpheus says, do you want to know what it is? You want to know what the Matrix is? The Matrix is everywhere. It's all around us, even now in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window, when you go to church. When you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. And Neo asks, what truth? And Morpheus replies, that you are a slave, Neo. Yes. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage. You are born into a prison that you can't taste or smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. So this is the idea that we have to have our mind open enough to see the system of control that is all around us. No one can really explain it to us. We have to be open-minded enough to see it for ourselves. He says, This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill and the story ends here. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. If you take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Another reference to Through the Looking Glass. Before he takes the red pill, Morpheus finally says, remember, all I'm offering is the truth, suggesting that it is not going to be a pleasant experience, because understanding the truth isn't a pleasant experience. The Matrix is a dream world built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this. And he holds up a battery because we are their fuel through our consent to this system of control that has been built up. I would suggest that what the Matrix ultimately is this. It's not just control, it's a specific kind of control. The Matrix is mind control. This is where the real Matrix is operating. It's operating in the realm of mind to keep people in a dreamlike state, in a state of unconsciousness, so that they cannot really see what's going on in our reality and then just accept the projected version of reality at face value. I am trying to free your mind, Neo, but I can only show you the door. You are the one that has to walk through it. It's mind over matter. It's the will over the physical world, okay? Reshaping it as he sees fit. And he's trying to teach Neo to do it, and Neo's having a problem with it, and he says, the spoon boy says to Neo, do not try to bend the spoon, that's impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth. And Neo says, what truth? And the spoon boy replies that there is no spoon. Meaning, you know that this is in the Matrix, it's in the world of illusion. Exercise your will over it and change it, okay? And he says, there is no spoon. He says, only then will you see that it is not the spoon that bends, it is only yourself that bends. This is a clear reference to the Delphic Oracle in Greece, which was the center of the Hermetic mystery traditions in the ancient world. And this is the main saying. Here you see it in Latin, temet nosce. In Greek, I don't know what the inscription was off the top of my head, but basically what that means is know thyself. And in the Hermetic tradition, they said, know thyself. And only through knowing thyself will you know the universe and the gods. Okay? So this is the ultimate command of all mystery tradition teachings. If you don't know the self, you're doomed. In room 303, which is where Trinity was under assault at the very beginning of the movie, so we've come full circle. Now, that number is very significant in Masonic terms, because 33 is the level or the degree of illuminated masonry. Okay, the 33rd degree, because it's the degree of temperature when water begins to melt. It's frozen as a block of ice, meaning we are encased in ice. Our heart is not actually, we're not warm, or we have not thawed our negative emotions. Our care is not really flowing. But when we come up to the 33rd degree, the light of the sun, knowledge, okay, of the true self, has thawed it and has turned it back into water. When it comes back to life, it is the most significant, it's probably the most important part of the entire film. Because he says one word when he stands up after coming back from the dead. Okay, he says one word, and that word is no. And this is suggestive that only when we begin to say no to the control system are we ever really going to really be reborn and really come back to life as a species. So the word no, I call it the most powerful word in the universe in my work. The Merovingian says, do you know why you're here? Morpheus replies, we're looking for the keymaker. The Merovingian replies, oh yes, it's true, the keymaker, of course. But that's not a reason. This is not a why. The keymaker is, his very nature is a means. It's not an end. And so to look for him is to be looking for a means to do what? What he's telling him here is you're looking for the way out of your mess, but you don't want to understand why that mess is present to begin with. There is only one ultimate truth. The only real truth. Causality. Action, reaction. Cause and effect. Morpheus replies to that saying, everything begins with choice. And the Merovingian replies, wrong. Choice is an illusion created between those with power and those without. That is the nature of the universe. Causality. There is no escape from it. Our only hope, our only peace is to understand it. To understand the why. Why is the only real source of power. Without it, you are powerless. If I'm the father of the Matrix, she would undoubtedly be its mother. Neo says the Orwell. And the architect says, she stumbled upon a solution whereby 99% of all the test subjects accepted the program. And what was this solution? The illusion of choice. The Hegelian dialectic. Do you want the Republicans or do you want the Democrats? Do you want Labor or conservative? Do you want liberal or conservative? Coke or Pepsi, exactly. And that illusion of free choice is what gets people, even though it's a false choice, it's a false paradigm, gets people to accept the program of the Matrix. And what the choice ultimately is, do you want this form of control or do you want this form of control? But either way, you're under control. The architect of the Matrix is the human ego, run from Buck. The oracle represents the human intuition. She is right-brain dominance. The Merovingian, again, he represents the dark occultist, the satanic aspect within creation. The opposer. Don't look at this as just a mythical character here. We're talking about the force that divides us from within ourselves. Smith, of course, represents fear and death, spreading everywhere like a plague, like a virus, like a black cancer that infests the heart. He is poisoning, sickness, disease. That's why he goes into Bane. Bane means poison. It means the agent of death. He's a virus that is infecting us. And this is the main message of the third movie. That what it's going to take to get us out of this current condition of humanity is sustained willpower. Sustained effort. Not giving up. Not just expecting results quickly, and if they don't happen, then just saying, oh, it didn't work. Sustained willpower is what is required in order to solve this problem. Smith asks him, why? Why get up? Why keep on fighting? You can't win. You can't possibly win. What you're doing is pointless. It is pointless to keep fighting. Why do you persist? And the response that Neo gives is because I choose to. Free will. Sustained willpower. It doesn't matter if the actual physical changes that you're going to be seeing in your lifetime. I don't care about that. I'm going to continue fighting evil regardless of what happens because I choose to, because it's the right thing, and that's what I'm going to spend my energy doing. The end. And it doesn't matter if one single other individual lifts a finger. I'll do that until I can't draw breath. Now, that's how we're going to get out of the Matrix. Come up to that level of awareness and consciousness and willpower, and then we'll have a chance. And probably not a minute before. The answer that the architect gives is the profound ending message of the whole series, the whole trilogy. He says to the oracle that the ones that won out will be freed. That is the final message of the architect in the film. However, there is one other question that is what the whole trilogy is ultimately about. And I'm going to wrap up with this question and I'll leave you with it. And that is, ultimately, not even allegorically or symbolically, but in the real world, the question of this trilogy is, in the real world, who is the one? And the answer is, you are. You are. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.